It's Sunday, and that means it's Cutlass Day. Actually, it's not Sunday for me right now, live. It's actually Monday, but it's Sunday when this video is coming out, and that means I got to get to work on doing some more work to the Cutlass. And I think I already know what I'm doing first thing. I'm going to take out these rear supports underneath the back part of the car, and I think I'm going to work on these rear pieces right there, the rear frame rail sections, and then maybe even get some of the other upper bars made. You know, like a bar that'll go from that joint, go under this panel right here, and then go down to where the bumper's at. Will I leave that one on there? Heck, I don't even know. I don't even know. The body is sitting on that at the very back for now. Like right now, the body is, the main hoop is touching up there, which is intentional. And then it's bolted up there in the very front through the dash bar. But the frame rail is going to be getting cut off right there. I don't know if you can see my mark where I wrote cut. So that's how much of the stock frame rail I have to have, that I have to meet the rules. So once I get some back frame section back here, maybe we'll run a support up to the corner of the body. Maybe it'll bolt like through here or something with a tube that diagonals down, or we'll have to figure that out later. Let's get to it. All right, so today's video is sponsored by Raycon and their new updated everyday earbuds. You guys have seen me talk about Raycon before, and if you've been thinking about getting some, now is the time to get some, because the everyday earbuds now have active noise canceling in them. So another great thing about them is they have multi-point connectivity, so you can connect them to multiple devices at the same time. And the new quick charge feature allows you to charge them for 10 minutes to get 90 minutes of playtime. So like if you gotta, charge them up real quick so you can go mow your yard, like I've done on several occasions, pop them in the charger for 10 minutes while I'm getting the lawnmower ready, and then I've got 90 minutes to go get the yard mowed. The updated everyday earbuds now come in even more colors, and you guys know that I like blue. Obviously, the Cutlass is blue, and it will be blue when it's painted or wrapped or whatever we end up doing with it. But haven't always seen too many earbuds in blue, but Raycon added some extra colors, and I can have my blue earbuds now. All right, so when I need to get to work on something on my own project and distance myself from the rest of the shop, just pop them out of the case, stick them in. Ooh, they've already connected to my phone. So all I've got to do now is start my favorite music on my phone, and I can get to work and not hear anything that's going on in the rest of the shop. So click the link down in the description box, or go to buyraycon.com/winwithksr, and you will get 15% off plus free shipping for your order. So thanks again to Raycon and their new everyday earbuds for sponsoring this video. It's time for me to get back to work on the Cutlass. All right, so the first thing we've got to get done, like I mentioned earlier in the video, was to cut out these tubes that I had originally welded in to hold the chassis square. Just some thin wall box tubing that I keep laying on the shelf that we use for holding stuff that we're going to eventually cut back out, just to hold the body in different places, or the frame in this instance. But you might have seen me slip my Raycon everyday earbuds in at the start of that, and I will tell you, it's really nice when, like, I'm wearing, the face shield that wraps around my head, or any other kind of safety glasses. It's nice to have the earbuds in, because there's not all of this stuff just on your head, and that is one other little nice feature of them. And I know not everybody enjoys the sponsored content, but the sponsored content is a huge help to the channel. So at least keep that in mind. And, you know, we can't control what ads YouTube puts on the videos, but at least when you get a sponsor segment, it's something that we use ourselves. So at least know that when you see us do sponsored ads on the channel. But you may have noticed that I got the bender all set up and then went over and notched the tube, and now I am coming back to the bender to actually put the bend in that lower frame rail section. So what I noticed was happening here is that I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to get the tube back into the notcher after I put the bend in it, because the bend is pretty close to the end of the tube here. So I decided to go ahead and notch it first and then put the bend in it, and that ends up working out really well for me here. So once I get all of that worked out, I decided to go ahead and just make a copy of the first tube for the other side of the car. And now it's time to start preparing the car to weld these bars in. So I'm going to polish the mill scale off right where these frame rails are going to weld in, drill the holes in the tubes so that the air that's heating up inside of the tubes as we weld them will have somewhere to go, and then go ahead and make the bar that's going to go across the back of the car and tie all of them together. And then I'm actually going to do something a little different, and that I'm going to square all of these up on the bench and actually tack weld them together over here on the bench. So I've made sure that all of my notches are as square as I can get them. And I know that I need to mock them up or tack them to this tube that's going to be basically the rear end of the frame. The two frame rails are going to be on a 21.5-inch center, I believe it was. And so it makes it real easy to mock it up on the bench, get all of that stuff tacked, take it over to the car. It'll be easier to mount it up into the car as one piece instead of doing one tube at a time. Eventually I'd like to get a chassis jig for us here at the shop, because then what I would do is clamp the rear horizontal bar. I would clamp that into the jig somehow, and then it would be really easy to bend these tubes and make them fit to the rest of the chassis. But we don't have a chassis jig yet, so we're doing the best we can with what we've got. And that's kind of what we do here at the shop.
And in a lot of ways, that's the same way I am with my video editing. Like, for example, from when this clip started about 12 seconds ago, I've gone from Florida to Pennsylvania, and I am now in a hotel just outside of Wampum, Pennsylvania, where Pit Race is. And Eddie and I are supporting Lee Saunders at the Trans Am race, where we had a pretty good day in qualifying. Well, it was practice and qualifying today, but pretty good day. And I should have a video out on our weekend experience, which included some very cutthroat go-kart action. And you'll have to wait for that video to come out on Monday or Tuesday. Hopefully you guys like the road racing videos. They are a real blast to do, and especially participate in the road racing that I do. It is a huge, huge bucket of fun, and I will probably be doing some more from the local track called The Firm. We will be taking out our Lexus SC300 road race car, but for now, we're at the Trans Am race up in Pittsburgh. So back to commenting on the Cutlass work, and you'll notice that I've got a couple of ratchet straps on the bars to kind of hold them in place. And this is something that I've kind of always done through the years of building cars, and the ratchet strap kind of replaces a person having to stand there and hold the bars while I'm working on them. And the nice thing about a ratchet strap too, like you notice I've got them shaped in like a triangle. They're stabilizing these bars that are just kind of hanging way out off of the chassis. But by making the triangle with the ratchet straps, it actually really holds it in place nicely. And I can work on making and fitting these down bars that are going to be from the higher sections of the roll cage. And luckily, this bar here that I'm starting to work with was a miss from the main hoop, or not the main hoop, it was from the roof bar where it got made incorrectly because I missed putting it in the bender the right way back a few videos ago. And it just happened to work out really well for this upper frame rail. And after a little bit of grinding it to notch on it here and there, it's going to work out really well. And one thing that I'm going to say here that I do on my car that I don't do on other people's cars is you might have seen me lay the bar on the car while I'm holding it to notch it. That's just because it's my car and I know it's getting painted or wrapped, and if a dent gets put in the car anywhere, well, it's my car and I know that I'll have to deal with it, and I won't have to take care of it in any way that, like, well, for example, if I did it on a customer's car, I would feel completely obligated to fix the dent or get rid of the dent completely and fix the paint if there was any damage done to the paint. But with this being my car, I know exactly what's going to happen to this car in the future. There's going to be lots of body work, including stripping all of this old paint off at one point. I know the car has at least the blue paint job and then the factory paint job, but that might be the only paint that's on the car, now that I think about it, because I think when we bought the car originally when I was 15 years old, I believe it was the original silver color. I'd have to double check the VIN number to verify all of that, but we're not going to do that in this video. And now that I've got that bar fit, I am going ahead and welding it in the best I can to lock in that one side to keep it all perfectly level, because at least at this point the passenger side frame rail or the rear section is just a little bit higher than the driver's side. So the nice thing about metal and at least building roll cages is you can kind of work with things to move them around a little bit if you need to, so that when you finish the welding, like everything is held perfectly straight. So now that I know that the bend in the first bar worked out, I can go right back over to our Rogue bender and copy the first bar to use on the passenger side. And I will say that one thing I really like about this Rogue Fab bender is you can make very high degree bends, not only high quality bends. You can put a big bend in a bar and not have to reposition or anything. Like those of you that have used benders, you know there's some benders out there where you bend them, say 40 degrees, and if you need to go 40 degrees, you have to release all the tension and then hook, like swing the wheel, like the die set, and then continue the bend. But with the Rogue Fab, you can go a little bit over 80 degrees if you're using the thin wall roller like I normally do on at least the 1.5 and 1.5 tubing that we use. But if the bars are using the standard roller setup, you can go even more than 90 degrees in one rotation of the ram, and that's really nice. Not only does it prevent kinking the bar when you're moving the die set less, rotating the tooling around, it's just nice to not have to reset it. Saves you a lot of time.
All right, so we're later in the week and getting super close to wrapping up this last bar here. This one is just sitting in here because I haven't quite finished notching it yet. And I've got some ratchet straps on it to kind of hold everything just right where all of the levels are 000, like we like to call it. And what happened was when I welded one of these sides first, it kind of pulled it up a little bit. So I ended up welding the other side completely and putting the brace on it, because I was trying to get that side to pull up to match, but it wouldn't do it. It would pull up this side as well. So we went ahead and welded that in, and then we're pulling this side down so that it matches that. Just part of stuff moving when you know, you weld on it and stuff. So the boys are over there griping at each other again.
He's trying to steal the guy's like a vulture. He's eyeing my food now.
Somebody stole part of your food? That's weird.
I told you that part of my garlic bread is crossing the line. You can still fries, but you took garlic bread. That's too far. Get out of here.
What garlic bread? You don't even have any garlic.
The mac and cheese. Too far. Way past. Yeah, that's way past size. That's hands right there.
He's stealing it.
I'll eat it.
So we're down here after hours. Kind of after hours, although we've still got a diff to build. Well, I mean, like, we're still working. Eddie's on the clock still because he's got a diff to build, right? Well,
I'm not right now.
Because you're eating stuff in your face.
That's right. Well, I'm going to be here late.
So we thrashed all week to get this going, which hopefully you saw that video. If you didn't see that video, go back one video on the channel and watch that. But actually, it might be two videos because I might have posted a video from Pittsburgh in between when this comes out, because that video hopefully came out on Friday. And then this video is coming out on Sunday. So time for me to stop talking and get to work. Seems to be one of my little sayings here lately, but here we go.
All right, it's the final time lapse. So let's run this one with some music.
All right, well, we managed to wrap that up. So next Sunday's video will probably be tying some of these together with, like, you know, the diagonal support tubes, and then may go ahead and do the parachute anchor bar and then the diagonals that kind of support it. And got lots of little straight bars that can be done now, and straight bars typically go very quick with the fabrication. Any of these angled bars, they can be a little bit of a fight, just because when you're trying to fit an angled bar, like, you get this end to fit really nice and then it doesn't fit down here like you want it to, and you make a little move there and then it's way off down here. But we managed to get all of these in, and they look really good, and they are like within 1/10 of a degree. Like, the lower ones are level with each other, or at least they were a minute ago before I pulled the ratchet straps off. And then these two were within 1/10 of each other on the plane that makes them there. Up against the side of them was perfectly level. So that's all good. We like it when everything lines up like it's supposed to. And starting to really look like something back in here. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Eddie and I leave tomorrow morning, actually, for Pittsburgh, or Wampum, Pennsylvania, to go to the Trans Am race, which we will already be there, and actually we will be racing at the same time this video comes out. Well, Lee will be racing, Eddie and I will be in the pits or on the spotter stand somewhere, helping him get through the race and hopefully pick up another win. We do have a little bit of news for the shop that our office guy, Eric, is going to be moving away from Florida up into the mountains, so we need somebody to replace him in the office. So if you go to our website, winwithksr.com, not only will you find merch and all kinds of other parts for sale up there, you will see where we have a link to post a resume. Well, email us a resume, I guess. It's on the website. Go check it out. But anyways, like I said, that'll wrap up this video. Appreciate everybody watching, subscribing, commenting, following along, and all that good stuff. Getting a lot of work done on this thing. Hopefully keep it going, and Sick Week 2025. Fingers crossed. See you guys next time.